Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Michelle, and in this video we are going to discuss the class registration recurring payment feature. So in order to set up recurring payments for your classes, meaning that you might be splitting up your payments into various months, like maybe you're going to give your members 2 to 3 months to pay off their fees, we're going to show you how to do that. So in order to set these up, we're going to go to the classes navigational bar on the left, and then we're going to click on settings for our classes. Once here, we're going to go to the payments tab, and when you click on that, it is going to give you a warning. It's going to say that we're going to navigate you to a different page. So if there's anything under the general tab that you've made changes, you want to make sure at the bottom here you update the general settings before you navigate over to the payment section. We have not made any changes, so I'm going to say OK. Once here, we're going to first work in the class payment default area. So in order to use the CRRP, or class registration recurring payment, we have to choose the correct accounting category. So we're going to click on this section here and choose CRRP. And then just below that, we're going to choose under the active column the fees that we're going to incorporate into our classes. So for this example, we're going to use deposit, class fee, supplies, and books. Now under the upfront fee, we're going to choose the fees that are due upon registration. So you want to collect them upfront. So it's basically going to hold their seat in the class, or maybe you need to collect the supplies upfront or the book fee so that the teacher can actually go out and purchase these items and have money in the account. So we're going to choose deposit, supplies, and books as upfront fees. You also can change the names of the description by just highlighting the name of the description and changing it to whatever you want it to be. So I'm going to take class fee and I'm going to change this to tuition. Once you've made changes to the class payment defaults, you want to make sure you click on Update Payment Settings to save your changes. So let's do that now. Our changes have been saved. Once we've created the payment default and the description and what's active and what's up front, we now need to schedule a payment schedule up here. Now, the payment schedule can be 100%. Maybe you want to collect everything up 100% by a certain date. You can do that. Or you can split up the payments into any number of payments that you want to allow your families to pay. So in order to set up a payment schedule, you're going to click on the top here where it says plus schedule, meaning add a schedule. So let's click there. And then let's give our payment schedule a name. So we're going to type in 2021-22 class payment schedule. Once you do that, you want to make sure that you click on the save icon to save the title name. So let's click on the save icon. And you'll notice under payment dates here that it says 0 payments. So now you have the opportunity to set up the dates of the payment schedule. So let's go ahead and click on 0 payments. And I want to highlight this top area here. It says you're going to use the form below to set dates on which class payments are due. All upfront category fees currently set to deposit, supplies, and books. So it tells you what you've chosen for upfront fees, and I chose deposit, supplies, and books will be collected on the first date. So if I were to just put in 2 payment schedules, like maybe one in June and one in July, or July and August, then what the system will do is it will take all those upfront fees and add it to the first payment. But I don't want to do that. I want my upfront fees to be due the day of registration. So they need to pay them right away. In order to do that, you'll notice here it says to collect only upfront fees, you're going to enter 0 so that the other fees are spread across the later dates. So when you're scheduling your payments, it's based on a percentage. So maybe you want to allow 4 payments at 25% each, or you want to allow 2 payments at 50% each. However way you split it up, the total has to equal 100% for it to work. So let's click on the top here where it says scheduled payments, and we're going to add one. So So let's add our first scheduled payment. So maybe on June 2nd, which is today, is at 0%. That's when we're going to open registration. When they register, the payments are going to be due immediately. If someone comes in on the 3rd and registers, their payments will also be due immediately because the system is going to say, hey, this was due on the 2nd, and it actually will turn their invoice red as meaning it's late, but obviously it's not because they just registered. So again, when you're creating a schedule payment, you want to make sure you click on the save icon on the left. So let's click on save. So it will caution you here, and it'll say, that you have to have 100% before it'll work. So we're going to go ahead and add another scheduled payment, and we'll make that for July 15th. And we're going to allow them to make 2 payments. Again, we'll click on the save icon, and it's still cautioning me because I'm only at 50%. So I'm going to hit on schedule payment again, and now we're going to do August 16th at 50%. And again, we'll click on the save icon. Okay, so now our total schedule collection does equal 100% here, so it's not giving us the caution anymore. So I'm going to take you back to the class payment settings by clicking on this link up at the top here and show you one other thing. This area, the payment instructions, I'll show it to you after we register a student for a class because you can't see it yet, but this information can be viewed by the member when they go to the Manage Class Registration either from the Matrix page or from their parent classroom dashboard. So I'll take you back to that once we register a student for a class. So now we're going to go to our classes and rosters on the left navigational bar. And here we're going to go into one of our classes and we're going to set up some financial information so we can register a student and see how the recurring payment works. So I'm going to take you into chemistry to set up the finances, and we're going to click on the Finance tab on the top. Once here, you'll notice that the category is already set to the CRRP, class recurring payments. Now the reason that's set up like that now is because we set it up in the settings. But if you had CR in there, it would look like this, and you would have to change it to CRRP. At the top here, the payment schedule is not chosen yet because we just created one. So we're going to go into the payment schedule, and we're going to choose the payment schedule we just created. On 6/2 registration opens, they have to pay their upfront fees, and then on July 15th and August 16th, their first and second payment will be due. So let's set our deposit, and we'll set it to $100. The tuition for the class will set to $250. Supplies are going to be $50. And on this class, the students are going to buy their own books, so we're not going to worry about the books for now. And then once we make the changes, we're going to go ahead and hit Save Changes at the bottom. Okay, let's see what it looks like on the member side when they register for a class. So we're going to take you back over to the member side, and we're going to go to Classes, take you to the Matrix, and we're going to register for chemistry. So we're going to register Lily for this class and click on Register. It was successful. Now I'm going to take you to the top where it says Balance, and we're going to look at the invoices that were just created for this member. Here you can see under the outstanding balances that on June 2nd, this member's deposit and supply fees are due, and it's red because it's due today. And then underneath of that, we have payment 1 tuition and payment 2 tuition, which we set up for July 15 payment and August 16 payment. Your member can come in here if you allow online payment, and they could choose to pay one at a time, or they can choose to pay all the invoices at one time and clear their account if they choose to. If you have further questions regarding the class registration and recurring payment, please go to your admin site and click on Create a Ticket and ask us how to do it, or you could set up some training with one of our trainers.